are not going to spill water when you're drinking it really quickly. And you wouldn't think that's a consideration, but it actually is. A nozzle is a real good thing to have on a water bottle, not the big open wide mouths, because you don't want water spilling down into your clothing and then making you cold. Now, another element that you can do, of course, is have an insulated water bottle. Um, and these come separately. These use the Nalgene, the wide bottle, or you can modify the Nalgene wide bottle with a narrow sipping cup type. I like these because the insulation is very good. Um, and it has this front pocket where I can keep flavorings and other things in. Um, Relatively inexpensive, snaps onto a pack really well. So not a bad thing to carry with you. Um, at base camp, at that warming hut, some of the things that I like to keep there, I like to have a pot of warm, not hot, but warm water that can then have off to the side a variety of mixtures that you can flavor it with to make it more tasteful, more attractive, and frankly, folks will want to drink it more. So, common hot chocolate, Tang, if you're familiar with Tang, soup and bouillon, coffee and tea. One of the things I really like is just simple honey. Honey melted into hot water or warm water is really pretty tasty, and it has the added advantage of really having some good energy to it. A quick pick me up. Other things you can use are top ramen packets. They work pretty well. I like the freeze dried soups because I'm particularly partial to tomato soup, and so I'll carry the freeze dried tomato soup packets and use those. Um, so having them in the space station, along with maybe some granola bars, other high energy foods, is a really good idea. So let's move on to food. So I've also already mentioned honey. Honey is a terrific thing to carry in your 10 essential kit. You can get these honey sticks, the little thin honey sticks. The nice thing about them is you put them in your outdoor essentials kit, and you can forget about them. They never go bad. They may solidify, but warming them up, they'll liquefy again, and you can't beat them for energy. They just work really well. Another thing that I like to carry, but you have to be somewhat careful about, is a new product that's about 3 years old now. Freeze dried or powdered peanut butter. It comes in peanut butter flavor or peanut butter with chocolate flavor. These are just a powder that you mix with water, and of course, the more water you add, the more liquidy it can get. And actually, here's a hack. You mix a little bit of the peanut butter and a little bit of the honey in the warm water, and you've got liquid peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter and honey sandwiches. It's really tasty. The nice thing about the peanut butter is it's really inexpensive. You can buy it at Target, Walmart, Safeway. I put it into little film canisters and carry it in my outdoor essentials kit. So there's another nice thing to carry. Of course, other things you can carry include the energy bars that I've mentioned. They come in gels also. Um, they will grow hard, so you do need to change those out. You don't want to carry those for a too long period of time. The honey and the peanut butter, they last forever. Of course, now with the peanut butter, you have to make sure that the people that are getting that are not always something you have to keep track of. So it's all well and good, but if you're out and you're in the outdoors and you don't have a warming hut, how do you warm water? What I carry is what's called Esmond cabinet stove, which is this little folding aluminum square right here. It's about 6 inches by 3 inches in diameter and folded up. And it folds open and it fits a cup on top of it very easily. So you pop it open, you put a little tablet in the center and light it on fire, put your cup on top of that, fill it with water, and in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, you've got warm water. Again, not boiling water, but warm water. This is a picture of my typical carrying kit. So here's my cup, foldable cup. Here's my little Esbit metal stove. So fold it open. There's a little tray for the heating tablets, the fuel tablets. There's the fuel tablets. And then here's a spoon right there, a spork. And I have, in this little container right here, I have oatmeal, a couple of packets of dried oatmeal, a couple of packets of tomato soup. This is this yellow container is matches. This is fruit drink, powdered fruit drink. This is powdered coffee. What you don't see are the honey sticks, which I also will usually carry. And then it all fits into this watertight bag, and it slips right into my pack. Very light and very easy to carry. So that's what I use during the day to stay hydrated and to stay well fed. Foods for outdoor activities. Some of the things that I recommend. Oatmeal is a real good one. Pastas and soups are good. The classic tomato soup with grilled cheese sandwiches, really hard to beat. For dinner, if you're going to camp overnight or in the evenings for dinner, what I do not recommend, what I would like you to avoid, are beans and chili. Beans and chili seems to be a classic for cold weather. I know that. But what you want to avoid is any intestinal distress. You do not want to have any gas attacks. I'll just put it that way, put it nicely. And you certainly don't want people having to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. You want to avoid that as much as possible. So beans and chili, I really do not recommend, and would ask that you think about it very carefully before you use them or plan them into any of your meals. Okay, so with that said, let's talk about clothing. I've already mentioned before, layering of clothing is really, really important. But I also want to caution you that the type of clothing you use is equally important. I will say cotton during the day, outdoors in the cold, is a really, really bad idea. A cotton jeans, I know jeans are real popular for playing outside. Not a good idea in cold weather, even if you layer them with long underwear underneath. Jeans attract moisture, they hold moisture. Even if you're not pouring water on them, your body will sweat. It will get onto your jeans. The snow will get onto your jeans. Even if it's dry out, there's some moisture in the air and it will go to your jeans. And cold jeans with a little wind just sucks the heat right out of your body. I also do not recommend jean jackets. They are not wind resistant at all, and for the same reasons. Just avoid cotton as exterior clothing. Now let me emphasize that. I'm talking about the clothes on the outside. If you want to wear cotton undersocks, and I will recommend cotton stocking hats for nighttime sleeping. I'll talk about that later. But you really want clothing, number one, that is weather resistant, wind resistant, water resistant, and tough. Honestly, the new Boy Scout pants, the newish Boy Scout pants that are ripstop nylon, are excellent. A good style of pant. Other types of clothing would be having snowsuit, snow pants on. The problem with those, of course, if you're out sledding or doing any climbing around in the woods, those tend to get torn, and you want to avoid that. For clothing, no matter what, keep it clothing that will not suck away heat, that's weather resistant. The other thing is you don't want to be too tight in your clothing, because if you layer on layers, if you get to the point where you can't move, your body can't circulate heat, and you're gonna get cold. So yeah, I got 6 layers on. I'm good. I can't move. I look like the little kid in the Christmas movie that gets so bundled up that he falls over sideways into the snow. But it's not going to help you. You're going to be cold, and you can't figure out why. Gee, I got all this clothing on. Why am I cold? Well, the heat source when you're out there is your body. So you want to give it as much opportunity to warm you as possible. So keep the clothing loose, keep multiple layers, and keep yourself comfortable. Hats. Awful lot of hats. And jackets with hoods work really well. The problem with jackets with hoods is the hoods will tend to fall over your eyes, which is kind of a pain. You can't see. Also, unless you close the hood around your face, you've got this wind tunnel sweeping around your ears, and the top of your head and your ears have more blood vessels exposed to the outside than any other part of your body. Your nose, your cheeks, your ears, they radiate heat. That's what they're designed to do. So you want to make sure that those are well protected. You can't do a whole lot with your face, but with your ears, you want to have a hat or a hood that covers them well. So what I like is if I'm wearing a good hood that I can close off, but I don't want it in my eyes, I will wear a baseball cap. The baseball cap bill will keep the hood from falling into your eyes. Great deal. I prefer a stocking hat or a beanie, a watch hat, something that will pull down over your ears and keep your body not necessarily tight, but warm. Okay. Wool here works very well, and it's what I recommend. Now, I mentioned scarves. Scarves are sort of out of style these days, but I love them. I think they work extremely well. Scarves can close off those open spaces around your neck and around the top of your head that may still be exposed. Heck, you can use them to wrap over your face very well. Now, yes, you can get a face mask. The problem with face masks, especially the neoprene ones, is you breathe in and out. Well, can't help it. It's what we do. We breathe in and out. But when we breathe out, we tend to breathe out moisture. And what happens? It gets trapped on that face mask and it freezes. And so now you've got this hunk of ice on your face, and every time you breathe in, it's getting cooled down even more. It's being super cooled. So something you want to avoid. So I'm not a big fan of face masks. I really prefer scarves. And scarves are inexpensive. They're terribly versatile. If you happen to have an open neck, you can use that scarf to close it in. If your jacket doesn't have a wind flap to it, run the scarf down. It acts as a wind flap to keep the moisture coming in from the zipper into your body. So scarves are cheap. Scarves are easy to come by. Get some scarves. If they get wet, trade it out for a fresh one. Okay? Gloves and glove liners. So you're always going to be warmer with a pair of mittens than with a pair of gloves. But nobody likes going around not being able to grab anything with a pair of mittens. They're kind of a pain. So we mostly wear gloves. If you're going to use gloves, again, same thing with jackets and pants. You want something that's windproof and waterproof. If you've got a pair of gloves that are cotton, they're not going to work very well. Wool, not as good, again, because it doesn't keep out the wind. But one of the solutions to that is using glove liners. Where are they? Here they are. You can get expensive glove liners, you can get inexpensive glove liners. Even cotton glove liners will add a lot to your ability to stay warm. They're not as good as the more high-tech version. Now, this is a very expensive pair. This is $20. These actually have a reflective surface. So if we were in person, I would pass this pair of gloves around and ask you to put them on. You'd put them on and you'd actually feel your hands getting warm because it's reflecting the heat from your